Dear all, this is Chandramouli, your project management consultant. In this video, we will discuss about close project or phase project. Before getting into the inputs, outputs, tools and techniques of close project, let's look into the details on how the deliverables are converted into final product. We already know that the output of direct and manage project work is deliverables. This process belongs to integration management knowledge area and executing process group. The primary output of the direct and manage project work process is deliverables, which actually demonstrates the importance of this process. While a project is being executed, we finally expect deliverables out of it. This is the execution process, and so the outcome is the vanilla, note this, deliverable. Deliverables are tangible components, completed to meet the project objectives, and can include elements of the project management plan. The deliverables are the result of the project, but neither confirmed nor verified. This deliverable needs to be verified deliverable, and the customer has to accept it, accepted deliverable. Deliverables are the input to control quality process. Verified deliverables are the main output of control quality process. Correctness of deliverables is the ultimate aim of quality control. A goal of the control quality process is to determine the correctness of deliverables. The results of performing the control quality process are verified deliverables that become an input to the validate scope process for formalized acceptance. If there were any change requests or improvements related to the deliverables, they may be changed, inspected, and re-verified. In validate scope process, the verified deliverables obtained from the control quality process are reviewed with the customer or sponsor to ensure they are completed satisfactorily and have received formal acceptance of the deliverables by the customer or sponsor. Validate scope is the process of formalizing acceptance of the completed project deliverables. The output of validate scope is accepted deliverables that are formally signed off and approved by the authorized stakeholder. Accepted deliverables may include approved product specifications, delivery receipts, and work performance documents. Partial or interim deliverables may also be included for phased or cancelled projects. In closed project process, the input is the accepted deliverables. Output is the final product or service or results. A product, service, or result, once delivered by the project, may be handed over to a different group or organization that will operate, maintain, and support it throughout its life cycle. This output refers to this transition of the final product, service, or result that the project was authorized to produce, or in the case of phase closure, the intermediate product, service, or result of that phase, from one team to another. Closing process group consists of those processes performed to finalize all activities across all project management process groups, to formally complete the project or phase or contractual obligations. 1. Obtain acceptance by the customer or sponsor. 2. Conduct post-project or phase-end review. 3. Record impacts of tailoring. 4. Document lessons learned. 5. Archive all project documents. 6. Close out procurements. The key benefit of this process is that it provides lessons learned, the formal ending of project work, and the release of organization resources to pursue new endeavors. When closing the project manager reviews all prior information from the previous phase closures to ensure that all project work is completed, and that the project has met its objectives. Since project scope is measured against The project management plan. The project manager reviews the scope baseline to ensure completion before considering the project closed. The close project or phase process also establishes the procedures to investigate and document the reasons for actions taken if a project is terminated before completion. In order to successfully achieve this, the project manager needs to engage all appropriate stakeholders in the process. Let us see the inputs of close project or phase process. The first input of close project or phase process is the project management plan. The project management plan becomes the agreement between the project manager and project sponsor, defining what constitutes project completion. The next input of close project or phase process is the accepted deliverables. Accepted deliverables may include approved product specifications, delivery receipts, and work performance documents. Partial or interim deliverables may also be included for phased or cancelled projects. The next input of close project or phase process is the organizational process assets. The organizational process assets may include, but not limited to, project or phase closure guidelines or requirements, for example, administrative procedures, project audits, project evaluations, and transition criteria. Historical information and lessons learned knowledge base, for example, project records and documents, all project closure information and documentation, information about both the results of past project selection decisions and past project performance information, and information from risk management activities. Let us see the tools and techniques of close project or phase process. The first tools and techniques of close project or phase process is the expert judgment. Expert judgment is applied when performing administrative closure activities. These experts ensure the project or phase closure is performed to the appropriate standards. The next tools and techniques of close project or phase process is the analytical techniques. Examples of analytical techniques used in project closeout are 1. Regression analysis. 2. Trend analysis. The next tools and techniques of close project or phase process is the meetings. Meetings may be face-to-face, virtual, formal, or informal. This may include project team members and other stakeholders involved in or affected by the project. Types of meetings include, but are not limited to, lessons learned, closeout, user group, and review meetings. Let us see the outputs of close project or phase process. The first output of close project or phase process is the final product, service or result transition. This output refers to the transition of the final product, service, or result that the project was authorized to produce, or in the case of phase closure, the intermediate product, service, or result of that phase. The next output of close project or phase process is the organizational process assets updates. The organizational process assets updates may include project files documentation resulting from the project's activities, for example, project management plan, scope, cost, schedule, and project calendars, risk registers and other registers, change management documentation, planned risk response actions, and risk impact. Project or phase closure documents. Project or phase closure documents, consisting of formal documentation that indicates completion of the project or phase, and the transfer of the completed project or phase deliverables to others, such as an operations group, or to the next phase. During project closure, the project manager reviews prior phase documentation, customer acceptance documentation from the validate scope process, and the contract, if applicable, to ensure that all project requirements are completed, prior to finalizing the closure of the project. If the project was terminated prior to completion, the formal documentation indicates why the project was terminated, and formalizes the procedures for the transfer of the finished and unfinished deliverables of the cancelled project to others. Historical information. Historical information and lessons learned information are transferred to the lessons learned knowledge base for use by future projects or phases. This can include information on issues and risks, as well as techniques that worked well that can be applied to future projects. Wish you all the best. Thank you very much for watching this video.